In today's segment of Online Business, we're diving deep into the crucial role of last-mile delivery services in the e-commerce system. With the rapid growth of online shopping, consumers expect fast, reliable, and hassle-free deliveries.
Last-mile delivery service plays a big role in the e-commerce industry. So
logistics professionals would actually save them not only for cost but also for time and efforts.
We are now open for business.
It is a signal to the world. We are open for business.
In today's segment of Online Business, we're diving deep into the crucial role of last-mile delivery services in the e-commerce system. With the rapid growth of online shopping, consumers expect fast, reliable, and hassle-free deliveries. The last-mile delivery process, the final step before an order reaches the customer, is a key factor in ensuring customer satisfaction and business success. But how do businesses, especially MSMEs, optimize logistics to keep up with demand? How can last-mile delivery providers ensure efficiency for online transactions? To help us understand the impact of last-mile delivery and the future of logistics in e-commerce, we have with us today from JNT, Mr. Isaac Nuque, the Sales and Marketing Manager, and the Deputy Director of Communications and Government Relations of Flash Express, Mr. Reginald Renz Pumihic. How are you, Isaac and Rex?
good afternoon, Mr. Cesar. I'm good. Thank you very much for having us here.
Good evening, CRV, and to all the watchers of Net25.
In my introduction, this is the most crucial step. This is where the customers would receive the items na that they have ordered online. Pero the understanding of last mile delivery and its importance, ano nga ba yung pag sinasabi nilang last mile delivery service? What exactly is that? Let's start with you, Isaac.
Okay. Last-mile delivery service plays a big role in the e-commerce industry. So last-mile delivery service is the final step of the supply chain, which involves a product arrival to the doorstep of the customer. So for us, JNT Express, as soon as we successfully deliver the parcels to the customers, it actually indicates success for us as service provider, as well as to our partnered online sellers and merchants. So that actually completes the whole e-commerce transaction.
It's basically the same with Flash Express. Of course, last mile delivery is the final stage of the delivery process where the receiver receives the parcels on their doorstep, right? So that also includes checking in with the receiver if they have received the correct parcel. And we have tools with Flash Express on how would we be able to confirm that the receiver received these particular parcels that they have ordered online.
Ano ba yung mga challenges dun sa last mile delivery, lalo na sa MSME siguro? As you mentioned, it is the last part, and sometimes, as you mentioned, Rex, you check if these are also delivered, and as you mentioned, Isaac, the measurement of success is when it is completed, diba? And it is received. So, can you name some of the challenges in last mile delivery, especially among MSMEs?
As we all know, Philippines is an archipelago.
Yes.
Consists of
Ilan na ba?
7,400 plus as the
yan
last
na ba yung
time.
latest? Kasi may mga anong pa daw eh. May mga isla daw pa. Umuusbong pa.
So since it consists of islands, we have Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So delivering to remote areas, mountainous areas, areas with weak signals is considered as one of our biggest challenge in JNT Express. But what we do to address that is, of course, to make adjustment with our operation. So we operate 24 hours with our delivery. This is to reduce the time and transportation transit.
I think the top challenge that we have is the expectation of our customers. Like there's a lot of factors kasi if they have received their orders, it could be the fault of the online sellers or the platforms, or it could also be the fault of our riders or the entire process. So if the customer did not receive the expected parcels, like if there are a lot of damages, then we cannot mention that that's already a successful delivery, right? So at least we want to let this customer understand that there's a lot of processes in the delivery process, wherein starting from the online sellers or the platforms, going through the process of delivery and through the third parties such as Flash Express up until to their doorstep. So we have those processes in place for that.
So, parang ang sinasabi dito, mga kababayan, ay hindi naman nila kasalanan totally, di ba? There's a lot of factors that must be considered. Going back to the challenge that you mentioned, what do you do there, Isaac? Knowing that we have areas that are mountainous, as you mentioned, there are areas that have no signal in terms of infra. What are you doing to respond to these challenges?
Okay, aside from the fact that we adjust our operations, we also expand our network to ensure that we are still reaching the far-flung areas, because overall we have 42,000 plus barangays and we're able to cover about 99% of the barangay. So we are transporting our shipments via land, sea, and air, and that's something that the MSMEs will not be doing themselves. Instead, they should be looking for a reliable service courier.
Ang mga Pinoy ngayon, di ba, mainipin.
Yes.
Parang gusto nila nasaan na, pag order mo, akala mo naman dyan lang sa baba, di ba? The first floor, dadating na sa fourth floor agad, di ba? So, it's good to know that you mentioned that you have covered that. But Rex, in your case, how do you respond, to that?
Same actually with J&T. Like we make sure that all of the areas that we promise to our customers are covered within just a span of 3 years. Kasi Flash Express was able to cover 95% serviceable areas all over the Philippines. So if we think that these particular areas is not serviceable, we specifically mention ahead of time to these particular.
So you're transparent to them.
Correct. We're
right?
very transparent in terms of our operations and deliveries. So as much as we want to cover 100% of the serviceable areas here in the Philippines, it's very much impossible, I guess, at this time, because as Isaac mentioned, due to the archipelago structure of the Philippines. So on our end, we mainly focus on the 95% serviceable areas that we are currently servicing. So we plant all our networks there, including, of course, our trucks, our riders, manpower, and everything else. Really have a streamlined operation within those areas.
Okay, that's great to hear. Now, let's go to this topic kasi, di ba, pag sinasabi nating deliveries, may dalawang uri yan. Yung B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer. Siguro unahin natin, B2C services naman for the e-commerce business.
Okay, for B2C, basically for us, I know for them as well, they are all offering both. But for B2C first is, in the context of logistics provider, primarily what we do is we pick up directly from the seller, we process it internally, and we deliver it directly to the consumer or to the buyers.
Pero may bulk din. So yung
Correct.
malaki, lambawa, meron talagang wholesale or bulk shipping. Pero sa inyo, Isaac, which one has a bigger market share or more profitable?
I would say,
if you can share lang.
Yeah, it's okay. I would say the B2C, since a lot of platforms, as you know, the online selling platforms are mainly receiving a lot of B2C transactions. So if we're going to get the percentage of it, majority of our transactions are coming from the B2C, but of course we're not limiting our services to corporations, retailers, and businesses who will require B2B shipments. So we can still accommodate, although we specialize small items, but we don't limit ourselves to bulky transactions. So we can accommodate up to 50 kilograms in terms of bulky transactions.
The system basically is different siguro. Kasi bulk yung isa naman parang parcels lang, di ba? Magkaiba din yung challenges nun.
Yes, definitely different po talaga siya. Kasi for B2C, mostly parang loose parcels, we call it internally loose parcels, meaning per pouches or a bit bulky. But for B2B transactions kasi, it is expected that the transactions will be bulky, meaning we pick up shipments from certain corporations and we deliver it to their distributors, so meaning malaki talaga siya. And it will require us to use a specific vehicle. So that's the time that we are using our in-house trucks and delivery vehicles. While for B2C kasi, most of the time, we are using motorcycles. Yeah.
To answer that, I think I need to explain the business model of Flash Express. So, Flash Express is an integrated e-commerce logistics provider. So, our main service is really to, like, the bridge from the e-commerce platforms to the customers. So, we're the middle company who would really, like, picking up the orders from the online platforms. To the last mile delivery to the customers. That's the main service. Our category is next day delivery service, meaning it's not being delivered like same day, unlike the other logistics companies, right? So in terms of the B2C, the main focus of Flash Express is really to bridge the gap between the online platforms to the customers. So in terms of the delivery operations, from tracking, from pickup, and of course sorting out these parcels from our distribution centers, quality assurance, of course, that's the main service of Flash Express. For B2B, we separate that in terms of our business unit. We have this called Flash Fulfillment that offers bulk, orders or transactions. So that could also mean storage within our warehouse, because some of the requirements of our B2B clients would be storage for a period of time. And after that, we deliver from their respective, places all over the Philippines. So yeah, it's practically the same with JNT, where we have different systems in place. Like for the parcels, our maximum kilograms for that or measurement would be 50 kilograms lang for our B2C. But of course, for the bulk and fulfillment, we can accommodate more than 50 kilograms. So in terms of parcel handling, the deliveries, it's totally different from each other.
Isaac, di ba sa inyo, in your company, you have, long years of advantage. How many years is your...
We've been in the Philippine market for 6 years now.
Okay, so 6 years. So in your case, kalahati, di ba?
Yeah, we're going for this year.
For ito. So parang ito naman yung ito na yung mga tanong dyan. Kasi di ba natandaan natin nung pandemic, talagang isa kayo sa nag-boom siguro, isa kayo sa parang, how do they call it in business, the gainers, di ba? There are losers, there are gainers. So in your case, you were one of the industries that benefited, di ba, from this. So in terms of the growth of the business, parang kailan nyo naramdaman yun? Dati, mas madalas ang mall or pupunta ka talaga sa brick and mortar na unit bago ka makabili. This time, talagang everything can be done online. So how do you sustain the business?
So for us, we started in the Philippine market 2019. Pandemic came 2020.
Oh,
so it was really a rapid growth for JNT Express Philippines when behavior of the buyer shifted to online. So many Filipinos really ventured to selling online. So they started doing live. And that's where they are getting sales. So for us naman, we were able to sustain the business up until now. And the way we position our services is that we know that we have, in the span of 6 years, we were able to establish our network all throughout the Philippines. And for others, we don't do like the price war already, because we believe that we are affordable and we are reliable in terms of the delivery. So if you're going to compare our published rate with other traditional couriers, we believe that it's competitive.
Siguro ang una naman sumagot si Rex. Let's talk about technology and innovations in logistics. The question is, how is technology improving last mile delivery services? Are there innovations in tracking, automation, or route optimization that businesses should be aware of?
The presence of technology in the logistics is really a game changer in the industry, specifically because there are some requirements already in the e-commerce industry that we need to integrate technology to the logistics, right? So with Flash Express, we really boast that we are a tech-enabled company. From the operations itself, like in our warehouses, we have these machines that can process up until 1 million parcels per day in one of our biggest hub in Laguna. Aside from that, like we give peace of mind to our clients. Like for example, we give them the right tools for them to streamline their orders, especially for those who have a lot of orders in a daily basis. So kahit 1,000 or 5,000 orders pa yan in a daily basis, we give them the right tools, accessible tools that they can use for them to be able to process the onlines of their clients easily. And with the integration, of course, of our systems and our technology within their platforms or within their marketplace, that's where really that you can see how technology really boosts the industry here in the Philippines as well. Not only actually here in the Philippines, but also in Southeast Asia.
Mm-hmm. Isaac, you have more years, as a heads up. Ano ba yung mga ginagawa nyo rin in terms of automation, AI, data analytics, real-time tracking, and all that?
Okay, for JNT, the technology is not simply improving the last mile delivery services. It actually, like what Rex mentioned, it's a game changer for logistics providers. So for our case, JNT Express, our distribution centers are spread out across the Philippines, and it is equipped with automated conveyors, which allows our team to receive, distribute faster. So it's an AI automated system machine that allows the parcels to be dispatched according to its destination. So hindi na siya manual like the traditional couriers is that when you receive parcels, you check the destination and you sort it according to the delivery address. But through the system, as soon as it passes through the automated conveyors, it actually drops to a specific
Parang like
bags.
what the airport does na.
Yes, yes. Something like that yung sa mga baggage po nila. Something like that.
So,
We're
alam saan kumuha saan pupunta
Yes,
yung
yes,
bagahe.
yes.
We're talking
Correct.
about real time.
Real
actually.
time, yeah.
So from if we compare the traditional delivery or logistics, where you can just wait or they can just give you an expected time of delivery, but for the new logistics right now, new logistics players, we have real time tracking, where the consignee or the platforms and the customer, together with the logistics provider, can see real-time the real-time status of the parcels or the delivery. So that's very that's what I'm saying in terms of the tech innovations for the logistics.
So just wanted to add to what Rex mentioned. No? In my previous company kasi it's a small courier company and we also partner with traditional couriers. And the usual statuses kasi that you will see once you order is pick up, in transit, and then delivery.
That's
But
it.
for us with JNT, you will be able to see the whereabouts of your shipment. So from pickup until it reaches hubs, until it gets delivered to the customers. And even the proof of delivery is now being uploaded to the platform of our partners.
So mas detailed yung
Yes,
tracking.
yes.
So dati tatlo lang. Ano yan? Pick up, transit.
In transit, out for delivery, and then delivery.
So ngayon makikita mo na saan hub na. Kasi like say, with some, I think my sons, di ba? Parang, saan na anak? Sabi ko, Dad, nasa China pa.
Okay, yes, yes.
Tapos, Dad, nasa nasa Pilipinas na. Parang ganun. I think that's
Yes
a
po.
system, no?
Yes, and that will actually address yung concern po niyo last time that Filipinos are very somehow mainipin.
Mainipin.
That when they order something, they wanted it to be delivered right away. But that's not how it is kasi with logistics, no? It actually varies on the origin and the destination. So given that we are archipelago with 7,000 plus islands, the parcel or the actual product may come from the NCR and needs to be delivered to Mindanao. So it would take some time for us to process it and deliver it to the final destination.
Doon, nasasabi natin na once there is an information that's given to the customer, that is already enough, somehow to satisfy, that waiting time, di ba? It's difficult if you order and then it takes you a long time to wait. And with no information at all that you receive, you are not able to really be given that sense of peace, di ba? That somehow you just have to wait because it's there. So as you are explaining now, there is already some sort of a real-time tracking wherein you know exactly where the parcel or the product is. That's good to know. Ito na natin pag-uusapan yung mga common complaints. Kaya po, nandito ang DTI. You being the executives of your respective companies, you show and prove that these complaints are being addressed. But siguro isa-isahin natin. Ano ba yung mga problema, common complaints, at saan nila dapat ito idulog? Halimbawa, in my interviews with the other CEOs and thought leaders here, there is one idea where if there is a complaint, you should not leave that specific platform. Kasi yung iba daw, DM me privately or para palalabasin ka or you can call me. So, mas mahirapan daw doon. So, parang mas maganda, dapat doon ka ma-document in that platform and then you document it. But that is just one of the solutions based on the complaint. So, I want to know now, pagdating doon sa last mile logistics, ano ba ang mga karaniwang reklamo ng mga mamamayan na sa palagay nyo naman ay nasusolusyonan nyo?
Expected SLA, or what we call the service level agreement, to our customers. So like for example, with Flash Express, within NCR, the published SLA is that we can process or we can deliver same day or the next day delivery, right? But for other areas, like for example, from NCR to the other areas, we do have service level agreement as to how many days would the parcel arrive. So since we set that particular SLA, of course, admittedly, the customers would expect because that's what we promised them, right? But there's a lot of factors really. As much as the logistics players would want to, fulfill their promise to the customers, there's a lot of factors. Like for example, with top of mind also would be pagdating ng mga bagyo, maraming mga sakuna, di ba? Those are the possible factors also why these parcels are delayed. Also would definitely be like unexpected instances, like for example, if the riders or the trucks met an accident through the process and everything else. Of course, we acknowledge these kinds of challenges within our company. The reason why we are here as a business in the Philippines is to really elevate the logistics experience and the customer experience.
You mentioned you're focusing on next day delivery, diba? Okay, I'm now a customer or I am an MSME. Then I employed your service. Tapos next day na, wala pa, diba? And that is what I was expecting, to receive it the following day. Assuming I did not receive it, what will I do? How will I raise it? How can I make that complaint?
First of all, Flash Express would give notifications to our customers. Like for example, we're experiencing a sort of delay of your parcel, something like that. They will be notified on that one. But of course, in terms of the customer reaching out to Flash Express, we have a lot of communication channels to do so. Our customer service department is open 24/7, so they can raise their concerns to our customer service. They can speak to our customer representatives. Also, we do have our social media platforms, of course, wherein they can, easily chat or slide a DM to our social media channels, and of course within our website. So basically, all the communication channels for Flash Express are open to, let the customer understand the status of their parcels, what happened to their parcels, and everything else in between.
Okay, I received the notification kasi this is the day na I'm supposed to receive it. So parang you notified me. And then, hindi ko natanggap. You notified me na parang what is normally the composition of the notification?
Two things. They can receive via message, or they can see through the tracking.
Okay.
Like we have this tracking system within the mobile app. They can either check that on the e-commerce platform or through the Flash Express app. So my
So
status
is
doon.
there a reason there that states why I did not receive it, halimbawa?
Yes, there are specific reasons.
Okay. So assuming we see this on YouTube, on TikTok na may mga parang ano ba yung katumbas ng road rage dito sa inyo.
Yes,
Di
you
ba?
can
Parang may
see-
ganun
you
ngayon
can
na
definitely see a lot
nagme-meltdown.
online.
Di ba? May nagme-meltdown. Halimbawa, ang pinadala niya ay isusuot niya pala na pang-abay sa kasal. Di ba?
Hindi pa dumating.
Hindi pa dumating. So, paano yun? Sabi mo, parang there are a lot of avenues. We recognize that. And thank you very much for that. But yung iba, parang bots lang. Parang chatbots lang na electronically generated yung mga sagot. But you said you have hotline. So parang, will there be instances na parang lalapit talaga sila sa inyo, itatawag sa inyo, malalaman nyo at ma-address yung concern ng consumer?
Oh, definitely. Like even me, like as a spokesperson of the company, I sometimes receive a lot
Attend
of
to that,
messages. Yeah, but as a whole, like we do really have our personnel in place to respond to these particular complaints, and we really make sure that all of the status are being notified to the customers. And also, if it's really the fault of, like, for example, Flash Express, we have claims processes, or we have claims processes where the customers can apply. So we could also compensate, of course, whatever inconvenience that Flash Express has committed to the consumers.
Ngayon, ito yung sinasabi ng DTI na pag wala pang aksyon, yun yung pwede nilang idulog na sa kanila na parang kasi siyempre may mga karapatan based on the e-commerce law, may mga karapatan na yung mga consumer na they can really make a complaint. But it's good to know that Flash Express, siyempre lalo na Flash ang pangalan ninyo, di ba? Flash din dapat ang pagtugon. And we appreciate that, Rex. In your case, what are the major complaints? How do you address them?
One of the common concerns, which I would say somehow related to what Rex mentioned, is the SLA, or the delivery lead time. Aside from the fact that we have the tracking system where customers can track their shipments and know the whereabouts of their parcels, there are still customers who really wanted to get an update. So what we are planning with JNT, we're going to roll out a new feature in our mobile app and in our system, where our system will automatically push a notification of where is the shipment. So because there's two different ways kasi. If you wish to know the whereabouts of your parcels, you can go to our website, or you can track via mobile app. But that's reactive because you need to know the status. So what we're going to do, it's more of like a proactive approach for J&D Express, where we notify you.
Unahan mo na bago mag-complain.
Correct.
Ito na, bago ka magreklamo, dito na yung
correct.
produkto
So
mo.
instead of you reaching out to our customer service or visiting our website or app, you don't need to do that. We will initiate a notification so that you will be informed, and for us to manage your expectations on when you can expect the delivery. So that's what we're going to roll out next. And for other concerns related to damage or any claims related concerns, so there's two claim type, which is damage and loss. So same with JNT. It is a requirement for every clients of ours to properly declare, so that in the event of loss or damage, we can properly compensate you according to the declared value.
Hindi naman sa kumakampi ako sa inyo. Ha? Kundi baka may customer naman na they do some fraudulent activities, 'di ba? Na baka sabihin, i-declare natin na na damage talaga, 'di ba? Pero kumbaga, nalaglag niya pala, pagka-receive niya, nalaglag niya pala, siya palang may kasalanan, pero i-blame niya. My question there related to that is, parang how do you ensure that somehow the loss or the damage is legitimate?
Yeah, for every complaint, it actually varies, no, Sir Cesar. Bali, of course, we ask our clients, may it be the ultimate consignee, the receiver or the sender, whenever they reach out to us, complain that something happened to their parcels, most especially for damaged shipments, we always ask them for proofs.
Yep.
Like, for example, how was the parcels received? Kasi if it was delivered to you, it was handed over to you, there was no signs of tampering, there was no signs of puncture or anything, slits, it only means that it was delivered in good condition. So if there's something happened inside, then we need to understand how it was packed. So what are the packaging materials that was used by the sender? Because for the whole process of the last mile delivery, it's a combination of both effort of the sender and the provider, of course. As a sender, it is also their responsibility to ensure that every parcels are properly packed. So for our company, we have a set of guidelines. It's a packaging guidelines. It varies depending on the type of products that you will be shipping. So meron po yung normal requirements like 2 or 4 rounds of bubble wrap. For fragile items, it must be placed inside the box. So things like that. So it varies depending on the type of complaint and type of product that is being reported to J&T Express. So going back, we normally require for proofs. Some sellers, no, it is now parang being used by a lot of sellers wherein they stick like a reminder. Like you take video before.
Ayun, yun sana sasabihin ko. So parang there was one item, I think it's a gadget, di ba? Sabi ko parang, how do we make sure na parang, kasi it's a little bit expensive.
Right.
So parang there's a guideline there. O kaya parang, sige, kailangan buksan daw, magpa-video daw.
Right.
So it's just for your own protection as well.
Right. So what I can suggest, no, a tip that I can share also as a buyer, no, assuming that I'm not part of logistics industry, but as a buyer, if I purchase something that is high value, let's say for example, electronics, let's say anything above 5,000, for me it's high value already. So as a buyer, it is also my responsibility to ensure that I am secured, right? Even if there's no instructions on the parcel, it will be my initiative already na I need to make sure na if everything happens or there's a problem with the product, I can secure myself and report it properly to the seller or to the platform. So what I will do, of course, I will document everything from unboxing to up to checking the actual parcel. So
when you compensate based on that complaint, there are instances that you replace it with a new one or you return the money to the sender.
Okay. For J&T Express, since we have the valuation fee that being collected from the customers, which ensures the parcels, we don't normally replace po. In our case po, for logistics, we really compensate according to the declared value.
Yes.
We compensate our clients. Our main client is the sender or the platform.
Right.
So Rex is the buyer. He complains. That will be escalated to our team, the service provider. We will thoroughly check, we'll do an investigation. If the claim is valid, then we will compensate it to our clients. And our main client is the sender or the platform.
So, kung papalitan yon or babayaran man yon, it's sa'yo, yung valuation ng delivery, ang magbabayad naman sakali sa customer, yung seller.
Correct.
Okay. Anything that you can add to that, Rex?
Yeah, I think Isaac has been discussing in the POV of the sellers. So I would really want to add the top challenges that we're also experiencing with our customers would be the rampant online scam. So like for example, they need to check really if the online platforms or the sellers that they're ordering their goods or whatever items that they want to order are actually legit. Like we have our DTI friends here for these customers to actually check if the online sellers are actually legit, because there's a lot of cases where the customer would call Flash Express na sasabihin nila, oh, kayo yung nag-scam. But, you know, they wouldn't also check if who are they engaging with is a legit seller. So, as I've mentioned earlier, there's a lot of factors that we can check before placing our orders, from the seller, from the receiver. Even we acknowledge, of course, the personnel, of course, of our delivery services. So,
Example, Rex, paano mo ma-check? How do you check if that person or that link is legitimate?
well, I'm happy that DTI has been working with e-commerce platforms.
Yes.
In really checking the different merchants inside these platforms. I think right now the guidelines the guidelines are more stricter for these merchants inside the e-commerce platforms. But I think most of the scam or fraudulent activities would come from the social media platforms, like for example, Facebook Marketplace. Medyo wala kasing medyo walang nagmamoderate. Like for me, I can just message this particular page. Okay, I'll ship it through Flash Express. Hindi nila alam na bogus pala yung
site.
seller. So again, self-check lang. I think that's the most tip that we can give as a logistics player. You really have to ensure also if kung tama ba yung kausap mo, or like for example, there's a lot of ways. Like for me, I would really have to require a video call if ever I wanna place it. I place an order through the Facebook Marketplace. Because ang gagaling na nila ngayon, CRV. Like for example, they would also use Facebook ads to really target those consumers who have a high activity of placing online on Facebook. So
Hala ko parang they target, alam na nila kung sino yung mga vulnerable.
Yes, madami.
Vulnerable at gullible. Okay, so Isaac, parang ang importante kasi yung mga consumers, whether they're MSMEs or regular customers, na parang may way sila to, for their complaints to be addressed. And that is the reason also why we are having this conversation now. Kasi, siyempre, not necessarily to promote your businesses, but for people to understand that they have that specific venue to air their grievances, to air their complaints, because diba? Sinasabi nga nila, parang ang bottom line pa rin natin is customer experience. Nagkataon lang na online ito, diba? Kasi kapag sa store lang, madaling makita. The customer experience is really visible, it's tangible, they can see it, they can feel it. But in this case, everything is done via online transaction. So, how do you ensure that there is a very excellent customer experience? Pero bago mo sagutin yan, magandang sinabi din ni Rex kanina na parang kung fake yung product o hindi. Sasabihin ng customer, hindi, kayo nagpadala. Dapat may pakialam kayo. Ganun ba?
A lot of cases, ganun po, no? I think this is also a good avenue for us to somehow not actually educate, but to share information to our consumers, to be keen in terms of dealing with the sellers, no. For our case, we've been receiving a lot of complaints when they receive something that is not the product that they are expecting. They always point their fingers to the 3PLs.
Correct.
Kasi kayo yung nag-receive, they thought na it is our full responsibility. Correct. But if we deal with platforms kasi, we collect from multiple sellers, and a seller may ship 10 or hundreds to thousands of transactions. So it is our responsibility to really check parcels that is being shipped via JNT, and that's something that we are doing. If you ship via our branch, or if you visit our branch, basically you will be asked what is the content of the parcels. But if we deal with the platforms kasi, it is not efficient for us to check everything before we accept. So that's where the gray area
Comes in.
comes in,
I
right?
agree.
So what I wanted to share is that it is not the full responsibility of the courier service provider if they receive wrong item, because in the first place we don't really know what transpires to their transaction. So we really understand where the customers are coming from, because of course hard-earned money yung binabayad nila. And if they uses COD transactions, it is normal for courier providers to collect first before they can open it. So marami pa, mahaba pa po yan, Sir Cesar, if we're going to
Correct.
go deep dive to the different cases that we are experiencing or we're receiving complaints from the consumers.
But in your area, in the last mile delivery service, how do you share or how do you ensure that there is excellent customer experience?
Right. So first, of course, as soon as we receive the parcels coming from our partners, from the senders, we ensure that it is dispatched on time, meaning we deliver it on time within the SLA that we committed to them. And then once we deliver it to the customers, if they receive, if they have any issues or concerns, we still help them out to escalate their concerns. We educate or we train our riders to give instructions whenever they receive concerns with the products that they receive, to course it to the platform or to the seller directly. So we have channels as well. The 24/7 customer service, they can also complain or make a report through our social media accounts.
For our clients, we ensure that they have the right tools, as I've mentioned, to really have a faster, placing of orders from their customers. Because our main clients are not the receiver, it's actually the sellers or the online platform. So we give them the right tools, the technology that we have, the dashboard that we have for them to be able to really, have a streamlined processes of their orders. And to back it up, of course, we do have this different processes, like for example with claim processes, for the receiver naman to check with Flash Express if they're really dealing with a legit seller. So just to add with Isaac mentioned, it actually doesn't stop where nasasabihin lang namin na okay, kami lang yung nag-deliver. So we also listen actually to the receiver. Like for example, nag-order na ako nitong online sellers na to several times and I was scammed. So we also have to check with our partners, also with our e-commerce platforms, if these sellers are really legit. So we have a list also, of course, of these complaints that we also forward to our clients or to the e-commerce platforms for them to have remove them from
and
the
hopefully
platform.
DTI can also be sent that a copy of that, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
parang I think the secretary has the power now to shut down that specific site. I think that's one of the explanations during the previous discussions here. For small businesses and MSMEs, what are your top 3 tips for managing logistics and delivery effectively? Isaac first.
Okay, for our case, J&T Express, of course, first, communication with your customers is the key. Moreover, it is helpful not to underestimate the benefits of having a logistics management system in your business. Lastly, and most importantly, be ready for everything. This advice is not just for managing logistics and deliveries, but also managing their businesses.
For Flash Express, tips that we can give is that due to the fast-paced demand of the e-commerce industry right now, the MSMEs or the businesses should not be afraid of investing to technologies. So that's why we have Flash Express, the services of Flash Express, who can help them in giving them the right tools and technology for them to speed up their businesses, specifically for the delivery services. And that's why we are here also. So the second tip would be, don't be afraid to ask questions to the different logistics professionals in the different events that we attended, like for example with MSMEs and everything else. They think that partnering with Flash Express and probably J&T would be very costly. Hindi nila alam na yung bilis nung avail nila for the technology that we offer or the services that we offer would actually save them not only for cost but also for time and efforts in packing and everything else.
This has been a very amazing interview, very insightful. The representatives of DTI are here. I'd like to thank the Strategic Communications and Partnership Division of DTI E-Commerce. Of course, thank you to Julian Simbulan and Miss Leila Miram, also Secretary Maria Cristina Roque, the Secretary of the Department of Trade and Industry. Thank you very much, ma'am, for making this happen. I hope you will join us again here in Open for Business. As you promised, we'll talk more of the many initiatives of the DTI. Also, thank you to the Assistant Secretary and Chief of Staff, Engelbert Chua, and the OIC of the E-Commerce Bureau, Attorney Ariel Nagtalon. Maraming salamat po sa inyo at sana po ay patuloy na magpatuloy pa ang pagkakataong ito for us to reach a lot of MSMEs, to educate and make people aware of the benefits of e-commerce, especially that online business is booming here in the Philippines. As a matter of fact, the Philippines is the fastest growing digital economy, not only in, I think, in Asia. Okay. So, with online businesses continuing to grow, efficient, reliable, and scalable logistics solutions are more important than ever, whether for B2C or B2B transactions. Having the last mile delivery partner can make all the difference in ensuring seamless operations. And our buzzword is micro-fulfillment center. It is a logistics strategy that companies use for positioning retail inventory closer to the consumer using small warehouses and MFCs. From warehouse to doorstep, last mile delivery is the final stretch that makes or breaks the customer experience. As e-commerce grows, so does the demand for speed, efficiency, and innovation in logistics. The race for the perfect delivery isn't slowing down, and so is the growth of e-commerce. And our quote of the week is from M. Cox. He said, "Behind every great leader, there was an even greater logistician." Maraming salamat sa inyo. Maraming salamat. That's the Sales and Marketing Manager of JNT, Mr. Isaac Nuque, and the Communications and Government Relations Deputy Director of Flash Express, Reginald Renz Pumihic. Maraming salamat sa inyo. Maraming salamat sa isang oras na pagsama sa amin upang tunghayan ang isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa negosyo. Dito lang sa Open for Business. Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan nyo kaming muli dito sa Open for Business. Catch us too on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe on our social media page at Net25TV. We will bring you more insights from industry experts, thought leaders, CEOs, and featured SMEs. Together, let us help encourage business development in the Philippines. Sharpen your business acumen, feel the pulse, and set the trend for as long as you're informed and open for business. Ito po si Cesar Vallejos. Marami pong salamat.